Great rising team. Hope everyone had a good weekend so far. Test, test. Perfect. I hear myself. Hope you guys are ready for the new trading week. This is the weekly market breakdown. This is the session where we go over every single pair we have on our list, starting from AUDUSD, finishing off with US oil. The pairs that have the red flag next to their names are the ones that we're going to be going over on stream. We're going to update the daily time frame, update our daily highs, daily lows if needed, update our 4-hour highs, 4-hour lows as needed, update our weekly outlook on the 4-hour time frame to see if we have any continuations. For this upcoming week, do the same thing on the 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows. Look to see if there's any continuations for these next upcoming days as well. But if you guys have any questions about any other pair, whether or not they're on our list, just let me know and we'll go over those as well. We're also going to talk about the trades that we took this week. I took a trade on Friday night going into Saturday for a 372 going long. We took a GJ trade this week as well. I think that was it. Not really remembering. I know Bitcoin for sure. That was the last one we took. GJ was one we took earlier. I feel like I'm missing one, but it's all good. We'll go through it. Oh, gold I think as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think gold is one of them. I'm gonna give everybody another couple minutes to join and then we will get started. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. Man, I'm hungry. I might have to, after I'm done with the session, might make some breakfast, man. Breakfast at 12, by the way, in the afternoon. I hate eating breakfast, I really do. I woke up today though, I was a little hungry. It's like, I'm just gonna drink water, it'll go away. Oh, it didn't go away. It's like, alright. Might eat a little bit early today. Just want to give everybody a few more minutes, guys, to join. And then we will get started. These sessions don't get the most love, even though it should be. The weekly market breakdown is where everybody should make the sacrifices needed to show up to these sessions. What a coincidence, me too, man. What's good, Albert? Great rising, my brother. I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. Been a really busy week, but these next upcoming months are gonna be crazy for me. Hopefully we could get back E to do some of the sessions throughout the week, so I can have a little bit of time to do what I gotta do and take care of the things I gotta take care of. Cause that's the thing, man. Like, when you decide, again, this is something that when E was doing the classes full time, when I was still learning, he would always say it. Like, once you get in the path of teaching, you really have no time for yourself. right? You really have no time for yourself because it's not as easy. Like, for example, you go to school and everybody has the same homework, everybody has, your teacher gives you a pamphlet and everybody's doing the same thing, right? But trading isn't really that, it's not that simple, right? Because, for example, if a student joins who already traded before, right? Because this is the thing, right? With the easiest people to teach how to trade and the easiest people to go through are the people who have no clue about what trading is, right? But once you get students who already have 6 months into learning some bullshit, or you have, students who have a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, you know, you have to be able to you have to be able to, how do I say this? There's certain ways you have to maneuver the different people that you're teaching depending on what they already know, right? You have to be able to know what their bad habits are first, right? So like for me, for example, again, and I've always been this way, right? I understand that every strategy in the market works, right? So I have to figure out number one, okay, what isn't working for this specific trader? And how could we put what they know already and also teach them what they don't know? Depending on the strategy that they're using, we have to make, the one-on-one sessions specifically, right? We have to cater the one-on-one sessions based on what they already know and what we could add onto their tool belt to be able to trade more effectively. So that just takes so much time, right? Because then I have to do my research on, okay, this guy's like, to give you the easiest examples, right? The ICTs and shit like that, the fair value gaps, like those are the easiest ones, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, those those strategies, right? Those entry strategies that you're learning with fair value gaps is just candlestick analysis, right? And again, like what's candlestick analysis? You could say double bottoms and double tops are candlestick analysis, right? When you're looking at how candle prints, right? When you're looking at engulfing candles, those are candlestick analysis, right? Exhaustion candles. And again, we say this every single stream, like in the market, every single day there's double bottoms and double tops. And now there's people online, I saw it recently this week, a lot of people are now waking up to the fact that, hey, there's thousands of fair value gaps printed, but which one is the correct one? You can't just take every single double bottom and every single double top that prints in the market because you know that most of them are fake outs, right? So you have to be able to teach them in a way that, hey, listen, you're not looking at the wrong thing, right? You can see double bottoms and double tops. That's the easiest things to see, right? However, in the area that you're looking to take these trades is where it's incorrect. And, we say this every single time. Market structure is king, right? You could give all of these people, you could teach all of these people more about market structure, and they'll go from a 30% win rate to a 70% in less than 6 months. So that's really where it kind of gets a little difficult, right? Because some traders, some of them, yeah, fair value gap, but then you see the rule book and it's like you have no rules to see a fair value gap. You're marking up everything on the chart, but you're not really looking at what you're. So everybody's different. So the point of that was just, again, it's very time consuming to do this. And I'm 24, bro. I'm young. I want to continue to do more things. Right? I love doing what I do now. I really, at first I hated it. Teaching, I hated doing these sessions at first. And he knows this. For sure he knows this. But it was also something with him where it was like, yo, you're going to be doing these sessions. You have no fucking choice. And he knew what he was doing. Like, he knew that me doing the sessions was going to make me a better trader. And if it wasn't for that, like, if it wasn't for that decision that he made, I wouldn't be the type of trader that I am today. That's a fact. So, I always give him his flowers for that. That was dope. He was able to see that. He was like, yo, you know what? Here you go. Here's the keys to the kingdom. So, You know that it's something that now, I do like teaching. I do like doing these sessions. It's something that now it's on the top of my schedule every single day. But it's getting to a point where I have to stop doing specific things to be able to have the time to teach. And that's really where it's a little gray area. And we've always said it. I've said it since I started doing the streams on YouTube. There's going to be a point where I'm not going to teach anymore. That's a fact. Doing it full time the way that we've been doing it for the last 3 years, there's going to be a time where I'm not going to be doing this anymore. Is it going to be anytime soon? Probably not. But there's definitely going to be a point where I might not do it every single day, right? The one-on-one sessions are going to be on specific days only. I'm not going to be, I have an open availability. Whatever day works for you, whatever time works for you. If 3 p.m. in the middle of the fucking day works for you, I'll be there. If I have to stay home all day and do what I got to do, then it is what it is. But there are other things that I want to work on. There are other things that I want to do that I just won't be able to do if I continue to have that open schedule. So we'll see. Again, this is all just something that I've been thinking about for the last couple months. And it's a conversation that I've had with myself for the last couple years, or for the last year and a half, pretty much. So, yeah, looking at our weakness and how to help us turn to our advantage. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, trading really isn't difficult. Trading is difficult when you don't put in the time. It's just like anything else, man. I'm tired of saying the same thing every day, every week. Trading really isn't difficult. It's the lack of information, right? And again, you have lack of information. That's the easiest thing to fix. Here's more information. Now go apply it on the charts, right? The hardest part is applying it on the chart. The hardest part is staying disciplined when you know that that's not a good trade, but you're going to take it anyway because you feel like it's a good trade. Oh, you feel it. Okay. Tell me what the lottery numbers are. Let me know how you feel about the numbers. You see what I'm saying? So it's a different ball game, man. It's different. Like you see everybody online and everybody's cool with having a 30% win rate. Oh, you could be successful with a 1 to 2 RR and have a 30% win rate. Like, all right. If you have $1 million, maybe, yeah. But again, a trader who only has $200 on a broker account, how long until you blow that account? If you have a $200 account and you're risking 1%, like this is where everybody's mentality with trading kind of gets fucked up when it comes to prop firms. Like, you're trading prop firms at a 1% risk because you have to. Because you can't risk more than 3% in a day. You can't risk over 6% of your account. You'll blow it. On top of the fact, you're not trading a prop firm trading a $1,000 account. You're buying $50,000 accounts. You're buying $100,000 accounts. So yeah, risking 1% on a 100K account for a lot of people, especially people who live outside of the United States, right? Risking 1% on a $1,000 account, catching a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, you're good off of that. Realistically speaking, you're good off of that. But if you live in the States, realistically speaking, once again, if you're not catching setups, good setups, and you're trading a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2, you only have a 30% win rate. Yeah, you have good extra money on the side, cool, but you can't really live off of that. You're gonna be over trading, and that's where again, this is why the rules of prop firms exist, because it forces you emotionally. It forces you to overtrade because you know that you're not making enough to be able to quit your job to make trading a full-time job. So, it sucks. I've always said it. It's nothing new. It's one of the biggest reasons why I always talk down about prop firms. I don't really mess with them. I have my stories already with a handful of prop firms that have fucked me over. But I don't make it a big deal. Again, this is nothing new. We knew that this was gonna be the reality when we go and trade prop firms because we just make too much money and we win too many trades, and they're gonna You know, they'll hit you with the, oh, you hard breached the account. Like, okay, how? Why? And then they'll never hit you up again. It's like, okay, cool. So you just hard breached my account because there's no reason. So just throwing bullshit rules at you that aren't even on the page. So you're a high risk trader. Like, how am I a high risk trader? You see the setups I take. I'm high risk. I'm high risk to the company because I'm gonna fucking liquidate the fuck out of you guys in less than 3 months. So it happens. It is what it is. But this is why learning the skill is very important. And there's a handful of traders on our group already who started to realize that and stop trading prop firms, right? The people who could do it, they stopped trading prop firms and are trading live accounts. And there's nothing wrong with trading prop firms, especially if you know how to maneuver it, right? If you know that these guys aren't going to pay you out, you know, one rule that I have for prop firms, I don't make over 10% profits on a prop account. And a 10% profit on a 100K account, that's one trade. So I literally do not trade my Propfirm account like I should. With 100K, come on. And people don't understand how much money 100K is. Like, do you know how much fucking damage you could do with the real 100K account on a broker? It's a lot of money. But again, I understand that we've gotten to a point as a community, not only trading, just as a community in general. You know, there's no, everybody's perspective of what money is have come, it's just it shifted into something that doesn't even make sense. Like we've gotten to a point where people don't cash out on a $200 account. Oh, that's not enough money. Why? For starters, you don't even make $200 working a fucking regular job, your 9 to 5 in a day. You make 120, maybe 130 bucks a day. And you're not gonna cash out on $200? Like, are we serious? On a 10-minute trade, 5-minute trade that you just took? Check your Discord. I got you. Hey brother, do you consider this a strong break when the bearish candle break below? Looks like a doji or hammer. No, it's if you see your break of structure line, that any of those candles, and I'll draw it over so you can see here on the stream too. Did any of these candles close below the wick without touching the BOS line? That's not a strong break. And you could answer that question in the chat. Did any of these candles, after the break of structure line, did any candle close below the wick? Right? You have the first red candle, body is touching the break. Then you have a green candle, then you have another red candle still on the line. Then you have another red candle still on the line. Then you have another red candle still on the line. Did any candle break below the wick? Hope that makes sense, this Albert. Again, just gonna give everybody another 2 minutes to join and then we will get started, guys. No. There you go. That answers your question. Again, team, any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, whether or not they're on our list, just let me know. We'll give everybody another minute to join and then we will get started. Albert, you need to start drawing these things out. You've been in these you know, it's not to call you out and it's not to say anything bad, right? But there's a reason why you see me always drawing this out. Not only do we draw it out almost every single day on the stream, but you guys also have the picture of what a valid break looks like. the fact that you're still asking these questions when you've been with us for over a year, you know, that's just telling me that you're not drawing these things out. It's not in your journal. You're not taking notes. You need to have this drawn in your journal, and you need to be able to see this every single day. Take a sticky note, get a whiteboard. If you don't have sticky notes and you don't have a whiteboard, get a sheet of paper and put this on your wall. Draw this out and have it in front of your wall every single day. Same thing with the market maker's pattern. Draw out the market maker's pattern the same way you see me drawing it every single time and have it in front of you. A valid break. I'll draw this again for you. We'll do the red candle since your screenshot was a red candle. You have the first initial candle that breaks below the line. Right? You have the red candle. Boom. Is this a valid break? No, because it's still touching the break of structure line. The next candle prints. Boom. It's a candle here. Did the next candle break below the wick of the candle? No. Okay. So this is not a valid break. If this candle is touching the break of structure line, but the body closed below the wick, right? Is this a valid break? No, because it's still touching the break of structure line. The only way you get a valid break is if it doesn't have to be the next candle. It could be the third, the fourth, the fifth candle. You need to wait for a candle to close below the wick that's not touching the break of structure line. Make sure you draw this out when you have it in front of you. So again, if we go back to your screenshot, you have this candle here closed below, but it's still touching the break. It's still a testing candle. The next candle was a green candle, not a break. The next candle was a red candle, still on the break of structure line, and it didn't close below the wick. It's still a testing candle. The next candle after that, a red candle, still touching the break of structure line, and it did not close below the wick. It's still a testing candle. Right? Now, I'm looking at this candle here. Why? Because it's a candle that closed below, right? And you have the 800 EMA, but we're not even going to get into that. But that is another reason why. But we'll just talk about the candle and how it's printed. Then you had this third red candle here. It closed below the line, but it's still touching the break of structure, right? It closed below the wick, but it's still touching the break of structure. Price created a new low. So what I'm looking at, I'm not looking for price to close below this wick here. I'm looking for now if this red candle would have closed below this wick here, because again it made a new low. It made a new testing candle low. We need to see price break below that wick. But we also had the 800 EMA, which adds another level of confluence where you know that you're looking for price to break below this wick and to break below the 800 EMA. Right, and then your next question was, oh, even though this one doesn't have a bottom wick, that'd be correct as well. The reason why this isn't a valid break is because this is a hammer, right? We could say a hammer candle, right? It's not a doji, it's a hammer candle, right? It doesn't have a bottom wick. It wouldn't be a valid break anyway. But you're also on the 800 EMA. But price here never gave you a valid break because you're looking for price to close below this wick. Because again, this is the candle that created that new low from the structure. So you're looking for price to break below this candle here. I hope that made sense. Alright, stream, are we good to go? Everybody ready? Any other questions? Any other specific pairs you guys want me to go over before we get started? Let me know. It is going to pour, bro. Euro USD and US30, gotcha. Yep, those are two pairs on our list. Euro USD and US30, so we'll go over those when we get to them. I got you. It makes sense. Thank you, no problem, my brother. Again, make sure you draw that out. Make sure you write down the rules. Take a screenshot of that chart. Have it in front of you so you can see it. So the next time it happens, you already know what it is. Yeah, it's not only with that. That's again, you guys have seen my whiteboard. I've been learning how to trade since 2017, 2018. Right? 6-7 years later, I still have the same notebook paper on my whiteboard with the market makers pattern. I still have the same notebook paper that I had from 2017, 2018, 2019 with the different zones of consolidation in front of me every single day. The type 1, the type 2, the type 3 pattern, what their names are, the exhaustion candles, the engulfing candles. I have all of that drawn in front of me every single day. I see it every single day. It's the only way to be able to keep all of these rules in your head. Again, if you don't know these rules like the back of your hand, if I ask you, yo, what's your name? You're going to tell me right away, Albert. You know your name. You should be the same reaction time it takes you to tell me what your name is. That's how fast you should be able to tell me what's going on in the market. It's that simple. If I open up a chart and I tell you, okay, what is this? And if you're not able to tell me in less than 7 seconds, you still have a lot of work to do. You have a lot of work to do. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But it puts it in perspective. Like, okay, yes, I still have a little bit of work to do. And that's okay. But you have to be able to draw it out in front of you. If I tell you right now, hey Albert, what are the different zones of consolidations and what are their names? How do they react? If you can't tell me that in less than a minute, I'll give you a minute to think about it. But if you can't tell me what the answer is in less than a minute, you have a lot of work to do. If I tell you what are the 3 different type patterns, if you can't answer that question in less than a minute, you have a lot of work to do. Right? If I ask you to draw an exhaustion candle, a bullish exhaustion or a bearish exhaustion candle, would you be able to draw it? Right? If I ask you what EMAs are we looking to bounce off on in level 2, would you be able to tell me in less than 10 seconds? Because that's very easy. Right? These are things that you have to be able to say. You have to be able to see it. You have to be able to know it like the back of your hand. The same way you know your multiplications, Albert. If I tell you if I ask you, yo Albert, what's 5 times 5? You're not gonna take 3 minutes to answer that question. 5 times 5, 24, right? Like you're gonna know like the back of your hand. You get what I'm saying? Like it is the same way with trading. It's the same way. It's super quick. You have to know the rules. If you don't know the rules, the reason you need to know it fast is because when you're live trading, it's happening right in front of you. The candlesticks are printing, and depending on what time frame you're on, you have to be quick, right? And engulfing at 25, there you go. See, so how you know that so quick? You see what I'm saying? Right? If you're looking at an entry in the 1 minute time frame and you're looking for an engulfing candle, you got 3 minutes to take that trade. You have 3 minutes. And if you don't know the rules and it takes you longer than 3 minutes to take that trade, that's it. Because you're only looking for 3 candlesticks to print. Green, green, red in a minute time frame, that's 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Specifically, you have 4 minutes because you're looking for the retest. Right? You have 4 minutes to be able to take that trade. So if you can't see the rules, when you close your eyes, if you don't envision all your rules when you close your eyes, you still have a long way to go. That I would just put it that way. When you close your eyes, all you see is fucking candlesticks and all your rules, then you're good. As soon as you have that engraved in your head, that's when you know you're good to go. You see what I mean, Amber? You just made my point. You know what 5 times 5 is? Same thing. It's super quick. It's super quick. You know your multiplications, right? Some bullshit. It's shit that you don't even fucking use on a day-to-day basis and you still know it like the back of your hand. Imagine. Right? If I give you a question about the square root, when the fuck was the last time you used the square root, but you still know it like the back of your hand? Like, yo, I'm telling you, it's the same thing. We learned some bullshit in school that we don't even use. It was just to test our patience. It's the same way with trading. In trading, you need to know these rules. It's not like you're not going to use this. You're going to use it every single day on the charts. Every single day. And if you don't know the rules, you're done. That's why I was horrible at school. That's why I was horrible at algebra. I'm like, yo, why the fuck do I need to know the plot intercept form? Because I need to use it for 9 months out of the year. We go to school for what, 9, 10 months out of the year? I need to use it for 10 months. Cool. And after those 10 months, that's it. I'll never see it again. But I knew that. And that's why it was very difficult for me to take school seriously. So I'm like, instead of teaching us something that we're going to need and that we're really going to use, you're going to give us some bullshit? Alright. I would rather take a trading class. But I'm over here fucking learning Algebra 1. But I'm not going to shit talk school. Because as I've gotten older, I've understood that school is there to teach you how to problem solve. School's not really there to teach you about anything besides problem solving. But again, the definition of problem solving is very different for everybody, right? Your definition of problem solving might be, well, I'm going to study. Because if the problem is I don't know the answer, then the solution, right, to solve the problem that I'm having, I have to study and learn this, right? My definition of problem solving is, I don't know the fucking answer, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna pass. I solved the problem. You see what I'm saying? So it's different. But what's good about the mentality of somebody who learned how to problem solve while studying in school, right, specifically in trading, right, is that once you start learning how to trade, you already understand that the problem is that you don't know what you're looking at and you're gonna go and study, right? And somebody like me, which luckily it wasn't the case for me because I was very aware of what I was doing in school, right? But somebody who's not aware is going to think that because you cheated in school, you think that you're going to come trade and you're going to cheat in trading too. But the reality is, you can't ask ChatGPT what the next trade is going to be. Right here in the States, I don't know if it's the same everywhere else. I know every other country is a lot more strict with what you could bring into classes, but when I was in high school, we're talking about, again, 2016, 2017, 2018, right? We had photo math, which is an application on your phone that you take a picture of the question, and you could take a picture of whatever the question is in math, and it gives you the answer, right? We had websites like Quizlet that had every single, it was an answer sheet for all the quizzes that you had in school, right? We had Mathway, which is really similar to photo math, but Mathway you had to write down like the actual question, the math question or the math equation, and it gives you the answer right away and how to solve it. So again, like, You can't do that in trading, right? And I will say this too. This is why this is also something that I've realized after 3 years of teaching people how to trade. I hate teaching people who did schooling in America. I hate teaching them how to trade because they believe that they could pass and that they could learn how to trade the same way that they learned how to pass a course in school by cheating. If I give you a if there's a question and you need to answer it, you can't go to Google. Like Google does not have the questions. ChatGPT does not have the questions for trading. And that's why a lot of people fail in trading, especially Americans. I'm gonna just call out the Americans because we're fucking lazy. That's really what it is. When it comes to learning, nobody, and again, there's everywhere in the world you're gonna find people like this. So I'm not just shit talking the Americans. But 99% of the traders that I see that are American fucking suck at it because they think that they're gonna be able to just go through this like it was school. And you can't. You can't. You have to study. If you don't like studying, then this is the wrong profession for you. The same way that being a lawyer is the wrong profession, the same way that being a doctor is the wrong profession. That's really what it is. Anything else, if you want to go work at McDonald's and go work at whatever other bullshit job, you could do that because it takes little to no skill to do a job like that. But when you have to do a job that requires you to actually study, that you can't make a mistake, that's where it gets really tedious for the American students. Because America is very used to just going to school, looking up the answers, cheating. You know, they'll go to school in the morning at 6:30 to go with a friend that already did the homework. Hey, let me copy your answer. I didn't do the homework. Of course your friend is going to say, "Yeah, go ahead." Of course. You can't do that in trading. So, yeah, we've already been streaming for 40 minutes and I've just been talking shit. Alright, let's get started, guys. Come on. See, this is the problem, is that once I start streaming, it's like, yo, I don't want to do this, guys. I don't. Yo, Albert, come to the session, man. Fuck it. Oh, it's just, I need the motivation to do this, man. Like, if I wake up, like today, for example, I'm just gonna keep talking. I woke up today and I'm like, yo, I really don't want to get out of bed. It was fucking 7 in the morning. I'm like, alright, I got up. I put my laundry down. And I have to go get my laundry, too. I forgot. It's in the dryer. It's a good thing I just started talking about it. I just didn't feel like doing the session. I just put it off for so long. I'm like, you know what? I'll do it at 11. We've been streaming for 39 minutes, and I've yet to do one pair. We've just been talking shit. But it's good shit that we're talking. This is very insightful for a lot of people. What's good, Kendo? Get to work. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's like every single time I turn the stream on to do this session, specifically the weekly market breakdown, it's like, damn. Because I know this is the most tedious stream to do, too. Because I really have to go through the daily time frame and the 4-hour, and I gotta go through it one by one. And again, it's just the same thing every single day. There's nothing different. Like, what am I going to say differently? Like, yo, Albert, if I ask you, what have I been saying about AUDUSD for the last 6 months? If you've been paying attention, you're going to give me that answer. And I guarantee you that that answer of what I've been saying about AUDUSD for the last 6 months is going to be the same answer that it's going to say today. Because I know it is. Because we still haven't gotten the move that we're looking for. So it's like, yo, if you want to go watch the weekly market breakdown, just go watch last week's. Or watch the week before. Or watch the week before that. Right? Waiting for the gap to get filled. Yo, we've been looking at this fucking gap since October last year. And we're still looking for that lower high to be set. We still don't have a lower high yet. So again, it's like, yo, it's understanding the fact that I'm gonna say the same thing I said last week. I'm gonna say the same thing that I said the week before. I'm gonna say the same thing I said the week before that. I'm gonna say it again today. It's just, you get tired of it, man. It's just the same shit over and over again. And it still amazes me every day. I'm like, yo, this really isn't this difficult. I don't understand how people really think trading is rocket science. Algebra is rocket science, and you were able to pass it with a 4.0 GPA. I passed algebra because I cheated, and I fucking know how to trade. This is not rocket science. Yo, it's fucking crazy. I've been going through my notes, but not seeing more than two types of zone of consolidation. Yep, you have sideways movement, and then you have the trap falls real. That's all that there is to it. The TFR, which is trap to the bottom, false move to the top side, real move to the bottom, or vice versa. Trap to the top, false move to the bottom, real move to the top. You have two zones of consolidation, either TFR or a zone of consolidation, which is, sorry, either a TFR or sideways movement. There's only two types. Yo, Kendall, come do the session, man. You got it, bro. You're up next. I'm over here yawning already. Like, look, we've been doing this for 42 minutes. If I would have started the stream and just got into it right away, we would already be done. So that means that I have to do another hour. Oh, okay, yo, let's get started. Because the more I talk and the more I think about it, the less I want to do it. Any other questions so far about anything? Again, if there's a specific pair you guys want me to go over that's not on our list, let me know. If there's a pair that you want me to go over, but you see it on our list, it has the red flag next to their name, don't worry about it. We will get to it. We will go in order from the top to the bottom. One more minute. That's all I'm going to, not even a minute. I'm going to even get 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I'm not going to give you a whole minute. 30 seconds. Any questions in the chat? Anything you guys want me to go over? Any pairs that you guys took that you want me to go over? Let me know. If not, dude, I need to figure this out. Yeah, if not, then we're going to get started. Again, 30 seconds. Oh, what did I do? I feel bad if I'm not paying for something while everyone is paying for. It's all good, Albert. You know, we had the conversation. You already know what the deal is. You don't have to feel bad about it. We had the conversation already. We know how it is. We already, you know, we spoke about it. We don't even gotta, you don't gotta feel bad about that. You know, it is not something that nobody knows. You know, publicly, I put it in the chat. Like, yo, at the end of the day, specifically for the guys, for the people in general, right? If you've been with us and I see that you guys are doing what you gotta do, you know, why am I going to hinder your learning process for a couple dollars? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like that. Why would, just think about it, Albert? Because this is just where humans connect, and this is where the disconnection happens. And this is the last thing I'll say, I promise. But I'm glad that you keep talking in the chat because fuck, I don't want to do this at all. Human compassion is such a big thing, and there's a difference between people taking advantage of you, which you're able to see that right away, compared to when you really need to help somebody, right? For example, and I might get canceled for this, I don't give a fuck. It's a good thing that I don't work for a job. I make my money off of computers. A homeless person comes up to me, I'm not giving them money. Why? Because I already know from experience, yes, there's a handful, let me take a step back. There's a handful of people who really have dealt with shitty situations who want to help themselves. 99% of homeless people do fucking drugs. They get money just for drugs. I'm not going to, yo, I don't gamble. I don't spend money on drugs. Why the fuck would I give you money to gamble? Why would I give you money to go do drugs? Why? I'm not gonna do it. Right? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't care. It doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna burn my money. Like, I'm not enjoying my cash going to the fucking casino. Why the fuck would I give you money so you could go to the casino and lose it? That's the other thing. You're gonna lose it. Right? So it's the same thing. Like, yo, if you're in the classes, specifically you've been in the sessions for a year, right? And then I decided to start charging people because whatever, right? If you tell me, yo, I can't do this right now because it's another expense that I can't deal with right now, I'm not going to be the person that says, "Oh, well, fuck it. You know, you can't do the sessions then." Why would I do that? Why would I hinder your ability to learn something? Why? Now, if you're somebody who doesn't take it seriously and I see that you don't do any of the sessions anyway, then yeah, I don't care because why would I feel bad for you if you're not even putting in the work? Right? But you've been putting in the work. You show up to the sessions every single day. And the sessions that you can't show up for because you're still at work or you had a long day and and the time difference, I know there's a time difference between me and you as well. Same thing with Muhammad. Muhammad is another one. Like, why am I going to make you guys feel bad about a situation knowing that you guys show up even on days where you don't want to show up? You guys are here every single day. Why would I hinder your learning process for fucking $50? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's if you guys come up to me like, yo, I have a situation, and you guys are the type of people who truly are in here every single day putting in the work, really wanting to learn, I'm not going to be that person that tells you, oh, well, too bad, go find somebody else. Because at the end of the day, there's nobody else. Who else are you going to fucking learn this from? Name me one other trader that fucking does what we do. Please, I'll wait. I'll wait fucking 3 years here on the stream. I'll keep the stream on for 3 years, and I'll wait for an answer. Who the fuck else is doing what we do here? That's not Steve Morrow. That's it. And Steve... No, shout out Steve. That's the only person you could tell me. He say me, fuck you. We'll see in the next 6 months if that's true. We're really putting you on the test now for the next 6 months. So you see what I'm saying, Albert? Like, it's for me, it's like a sense of responsibility. Because, and I'm sure E feels the same way too. Like, we have so much information that not a lot of people have. And again, we have track records to back it up, to the point where it's like, if somebody's really taking this serious and they really want to learn, come learn. But if you don't want to learn and you're not taking it serious, then don't waste my time the same way that I won't waste your time. Even though I'm wasting your guys' time right now. We've been streaming for 50 minutes and I haven't even gone over one pair. But that's not the point. That's not the point. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's... You don't have to feel bad about it, bro. Like, we already had the conversation. It is what it is. Kendall says that's a bet. 6 months, man. I need one last session with Eric on the 5-minute time frame. I'm sure he'll get back to you. I'm sure that either by later today, probably like either later today or tomorrow, he'll get back to you. But yeah, I know he's been really busy this week, so give it some time. It's like what I was saying earlier on the stream, man. Like, sometimes you got real life shit going on that you don't really have time to put in another 2-3 hours for every student. It's a lot, bro. It really is a lot. And again, I saw it firsthand before I started doing the sessions. I saw how hard he was working for this shit. Literally waking up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning to do sessions in the morning with people who live in another country, right? 6, 7 hours ahead. So, you know, it's like, you know, they're 7 a.m., but it's fucking 2 in the morning for us. And he was waking up for that. See, he's a better person than I am, because I would never do that. Hell no. But he's a better person than I am, yo. He really did that shit. He would stay up past midnight if he needed to. Like, he'd wake up early in the fucking morning to do the sessions. Like, yo, I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. But he did it. So, it's a lot of time, bro. It really is. A lot of people, they don't really understand how much time you really put into this shit when you decide to start teaching people. Alright, guys, let's get started, man. At any point, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna get through this I'm not gonna run through it. I'm gonna just talk about what needs to be talked about. If at any point you need me to slow down, or if you need me to repeat something, or if there's any questions at all, feel free to just let me know in the chat. Again, I have no issue with slowing down. I have no issue with repeating myself. I have no issue with answering questions at all. At any point in the stream, if you guys need me to say something again, if you guys need me to go over something again, let me know, and we'll call it a day. We'll try to finish this. I've already been streaming for an hour. Again, I'm sorry for the people who are gonna be watching the recording. Uh, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna watch an hour of just me talking shit. Yo, I feel bad for you guys, bro. I could only imagine somebody clicking on this trying to watch the recording and say, "Yo, he's been talking shit for 52 minutes." It really, yo, people really don't understand how boring trading gets. Like, this is the feeling of just not wanting to do this is real. Like, I really don't even want to start. All right. Oh man. Now I get it. That's the thing though. These last couple months, like last 6, 7 months, I understand now. So many people talk shit about like other traders who do the same thing. Like, yo, he's just rambling for an hour. Cause again, he used to do the same thing too, and I never understood it. Like, yo, just get started. But nah. What other conversation could we have? Nah, I'm trolling. All right, let's get started, guys. So AUD USD, once again, right as always, nothing has changed on AU. We're looking for the same thing on EU. I just realized type 1, 2, and 3 are zones of consolidation. Thought there were other confluences. No. The beginning of type 1s, type 2s, and type 3s are the same, right? There's zones of consolidation. You'll see it on the 30, but realistically, you want to go to the 15-minute time frame, right? The beginnings of type 1, type 2s, and type 3s are the same thing. It all starts with a zone of consolidation. If price ranges, when the markets open at 5 p.m., right, for Asia session, if the market starts ranging, and it ranges all through Asia and it ranges all through London, and at the end of London is where you're going to get the breakout. The only difference between the type 1, type 2, and type 3 pattern is what happens after the zone of consolidation, right? If you're looking for a downtrend, is price giving you a zone of consolidation into a type 1 pattern in a downtrend where it gives you the break, a double top, and then continues the downtrend? Does it give you a type 2 pattern where it consolidates, gives you a break of structure of the zone of consolidation, gives you the retest, and then continues down? Or does it give you a type 3 pattern where price consolidates, it breaks, it comes back 50% of the zone of consolidation, and then goes down? Is the only difference. But the type 1, type 2, and type 3s, they all start off the same exact way, which is a zone of consolidation. The only difference is what happens after the zone of consolidation. Does price give you the break above for a type 1 pattern? Does it give you a type 2 pattern? Does it give you a type 3 pattern? Right, that's the only difference. Does it give you a break and retest? Does it give you a 50-50 trade? Or does it give you a stop punt high, hit the mayo, and then go down? Shout out Steve. Stop punt high, hit the mayo. Stop punt low, hit the mayo. It's type 1 pattern, right? That's engraved in my fucking head. So AU, we know we're in an overall downtrend. We had push 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation. Then we had the start of push number 3 that gave us the break of structure, right? And when we're looking at the market structure, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Price never broke these highs, price never broke these lows until we got down here. Price consolidated, gave us a break of the zone of consolidation. It gave us a lower low. Now we're looking for a lower high to be set, to then catch those trades on the lower high, to go back down into the lower low and give us that third push to the bottom to go into our previous peak lows over here, right? We have 2 points of interest on the daily time frame on AU where we're expecting price to give us a lower high to then continue. Our first point of interest was the 800 EMA. Price got to the 800, gave us a lower high point. We started the downtrend push. However, now we go down into the 4-hour time frame. Right? When we're looking at the structure on the 4-hour time frame, what is price still doing? And again, everything is color coordinated on the stream, on the charts, sorry. The blue colors, the blue lines, or I'm sorry, the blue rectangles, the blue dots are the 4-hour time frame. Daily time frame is gray. 30-minute time frame is red. right? So what do we see on the 4-hour time frame? Price is still giving us higher high, higher low, higher high. So has the trend shifted from an uptrend to a downtrend? No. Right? Price gave us, once again on the daily time frame, it gave us lower low going into a lower high. When price goes from a lower low going into a lower high, what is price doing? Higher highs and higher lows, right? Because if price is going from a lower low to a lower high, that means price is going up. When price is going up, that means price is giving you higher highs and higher lows, right? So as you go down into the internal time frame, we could see that the trend is still higher high and higher low, right? Price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, boom. It tapped into our higher low, which was a daily engulfing candle. We're still on an uptrend. So right now for AU, we still have to be a little bit patient. When it comes to taking trades on AU, we just have to be a little patient. We have to wait for price to start giving us lower lows and lower highs, especially when you're looking for it on the daily or when you're looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, right? Because it's the same thing. When you go up into a higher high, on the 4-hour time frame, you're at a higher high. What does price have to do after a higher high? It has to give you a higher low, right? And what happens when price goes from a higher high into a higher low is going to give you those downtrend moves, which we will see on the 30-minute time frame, right? Understanding the internal time frame, okay, in the internal time frame, yeah, we could see price giving us lower lows and lower highs because price is going from a higher high on the 4-hour time frame down into a higher low, right? So I'm not really looking for a change in the break on just the 30-minute time frame to go short, because I understand that the change in the break on the 30-minute time frame is just price giving us higher high into a higher low. So for me to feel comfortable on AU to continue to take these trades going short, in order for us to say that, yeah, this is the higher time frame lower high that we're looking for, we need to see the 4-hour time frame also give us the change of character and the break of structure back down to the bottom. We need to see the trend shift. We need to see the shift of the trend, which is going to be when price gives us lower lows and lower highs on the 4-hour time frame. All right, let's go back to the 4-hour because I didn't even update the week. Right, on the 4-hour time frame, and there's a lot of drawings here. We're gonna clean this up today as well, so we're gonna take a few minutes to do that. The new weekly candle is 2 pips from being a no net, where price is just moving sideways, which we could see that, right? So we'll mark this up as a no net. I'm gonna go ahead and just start deleting these drawings. All right, we're good with this. I'm gonna start cleaning up my charts for this new week. I don't like having too much on my charts, man. Just too much cluster. Right, and then we'll keep everything else. Right, so we have 2 weeks where price has been moving sideways, so there's no continuations. Right, nothing to update on the 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows, is all the same thing. On the 30-minute, we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and then prices in this zone of consolidation, where prices rejecting highs, reject lows, reject highs, reject lows, reject highs, coming to the middle, moving sideways, coming back to the highs, right, rejecting the highs, coming back to the middle. So we already know AU for this week, not even interested in it. Not interested in it. You know, we could argue and say, oh, we're at the top of a zone of consolidation. We could take these trades going short. We have the 800 EMA. Yeah, you know, we could catch, I would call these aggressive trades in these areas. Again, understanding the fact that, again, we're trading at a higher low. Right? After a higher low, there's only 2 moves the market can make. There's only 2 moves. Either a trend or a zone of consolidation. At the higher low, what is price doing? It's giving us a zone of consolidation. Cool. That's it. Right? So again, in order for me to feel comfortable taking a trade on AU, especially going short, I want to see that change and break on the 4-hour. I'm not going to mess with this pair. I'm not going to force something. Again, when you're looking at structure, when you're looking at a trend, always remember in trading, and I wasn't the one that came up with this. E wasn't the one that came up with this. I don't know who came up with it. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. Is AUDUSD right now, is it trending? No. It's consolidating. It's ranging. It's moving sideways. It's trapping traders. Left and right is trapping traders. Right? Traders trading double bottoms and double tops, trading liquidity grabs, and a zone of consolidation is an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders. They're inducing traders to get into a trade to hit their stop losses. That's the definition of a zone of consolidation. So why would I put my account at risk taking trades in a zone of consolidation? There's no point. There's no point. Is there a time when you could trade in a zone of consolidation? Absolutely. Is this the time to trade a zone of consolidation in this area? No. Because the daily time frame is telling you something completely different than what the 4-hour time frame is telling you. And the 4-hour time frame is doing something completely different than what the 30-minute is telling you. But I'll give you the example. If the daily time frame was downtrending, and the 4-hour time frame is downtrending, and the 30-minute time frame is downtrending, and we're stuck in a zone of consolidation on the 30-minute time frame, then what do we know? Taking a trade at the top of the zone of consolidation on a downtrend is the safety trade. So yes, if we were downtrending on the 4-hour, and we were downtrending on the daily, and we were downtrending on the 30, then yes, I would feel comfortable taking these trades at the top of the zone of consolidation to go back down to the bottom of the zone of consolidation with no hesitation. But the fact that we're trading at a higher low on the 4-hour time frame, and on the daily time frame price is doing whatever, and on the 30-minute time frame price is downtrending, what are we going to trade? Right? Is price going to respect the 4-hour structure and make a higher low going into a higher high, meaning that if we take these trades going short, we're going to go straight to stop loss? Right? So you have to be able to put these rules together, understanding that yes, you could trade a zone of consolidation, but when is the perfect time to trade a zone of consolidation? That's the question you have to ask yourself as a trader. And again, that question isn't only for zones of consolidation. It goes back to what we were saying at the beginning of the stream. You see a double bottom every single day on the charts. You see double tops every single day on the charts. And again, I'll give you guys the example. It's very simple. You have a double bottom. Where'd I see it? You have a double bottom here. Boom, straight to stop loss. You have a double bottom here. Okay, let's say you took this trade. Okay, cool, you won this one, right? You have a double bottom here, an extended double bottom, straight to stop loss. So that's 2 losses and 1 win. You have a double bottom here. Boom, straight to stop loss, right? You can see what I'm trying to get at? You have an extended double bottom here. Okay, you won that one. Cool. You have a double bottom here. Cool, this one went up. If you took profit, you took profit. If you didn't, you were stuck in the zone for a little bit, right? Where else? For right now, you have a double bottom here, right? And this one with the news on Friday, if you cashed out, you cashed out. If price came back and you didn't cash out at the top of the zone of consolidation, so you see what I'm saying? Like, you have a 50% win rate if you trade every single double bottom and every single double top in the market. So you want to be conscious about what you're trading and how you're trading it. It all boils down to market structure. It all boils down to market structure. That'll be trading counter as well. Yeah, well, I just wanted to give the example, right, of just when you should be looking for a trade, when you shouldn't be, just so everybody could be on the same. The examples, it was just to make sense of what we were talking about. But yes, you're not wrong. It would be trading counter trend. But I was just putting in perspective, like, again, the market is always going to give you what you want to see, right? The market is always going to give you what you want to see, right? So it's not whether or not the market is giving you double bottoms or double tops. No, the market is going to give it to you, right? The whole point is not every single entry that you see is the correct entry, because we know that you're playing a game, right? It's you against the market makers. Your objective, and to put it in perspective that other people could it would help make sense. It's you against the market makers. Your objective is to win, right? The market maker's objective is to win. So what happens? You don't control the game. The market makers control the game. So they understand that the only way that they'll be able to win against you is by giving you fake confirmations. Which is why in trading you hear people call it fake outs, inducements, right? Fake outs, inducements, false signals, whatever the case is. The market makers, their objective is to win, is to beat you. And how do they win against you? Is by giving you fake confirmations, by giving you fake signals, by printing every single double bottom and double top in the market. Just because there's a double top doesn't mean price is gonna 100% go down. That could be a fake out to induce traders into getting into a trade, and then that's when your trades are gonna hit stop loss. That's when you lose and the market makers win. Once you understand that concept of trading, and you understand that this is a game between you and the market makers, now you understand, okay, cool. How do I avoid getting into the fake outs? Understanding that if price is giving you lower lows and lower highs, why would you take a double bottom setup at a lower high? Because when you're looking at that trade, what happens with structure? Lower low, lower high. When price goes into a lower high, what is it going to do? It's going to make a lower low. So why would you take a double bottom setup, right? A W formation, an uptrend formation. Why would you take that in a lower high? Oh, because it's a double bottom, I'm going to take it. No, it's the same thing when you're trading fair value gaps. Why would you take a fair value gap confirmation going long when it printed that fair value gap at a lower high? You know price is going to make a lower low. That's structure. So I hope that makes sense. Right, so AU, we could go ahead and skip over that one. And again, I'm not going to take 30 minutes for each trade or for each pair. Again, AU, I like going through AU one by one and doing it like that so you guys could get the concept of what it is that I'm looking for and why it is that I'm looking for what I'm looking for. So again, these next pairs pretty much up until the end of the list. The only question we had on the chat, and I don't even know if he's here, was EURUSD and US30. So EURUSD and US30 will take some time to go over those pairs as well. But again, if you guys have any questions about any other pair, let me know, and I'll go over those in details. The other pairs that you guys don't have questions on, I'm just going to go through them like if I was marking my charts on my own. I'm not going to take... If I do every pair like I just did AUDUSD, we'll be here until tomorrow morning. I'm not going to... This is going to be finished in 30 minutes. So, again, any questions will be done by 1:30, I promise. I'm going to get through this quick. I know I talked shit for the first hour of the stream. I'm sorry. But there's a lot of gems in here already. We talked a lot about real stuff, so at least we're not talking about no BS. So, again, I'll give you guys another 30 seconds. Any questions? Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. If there's no questions, if there's no other pair you guys want me to go over in detail, then I'm gonna go through these pretty quick. Let me know, guys. Everything that I said with AU, did it make sense? Do you guys need me to repeat something? Let me know. Use this time wisely. This is why we're here, guys. As much as I want to just speed run through this, I understand that most people have questions. I'm here to answer those questions. If you guys have no questions, then again, I'm gonna just do this like if I was marking my own charts by myself. Use this time wisely. Ooh, my bad. I just seen a tweet and I wanna do something like this. No questions in the chat, guys. There's how many of you guys are in here? Let me go into the participants here. Ah, shit. I just clicked something that I wasn't supposed to. We got 6 people in here. No questions? You guys are good? Alright, you guys are good. Perfect. Alright, so let's keep going again, guys. I'm going to speed it up. So AUDCAD, we know that we're still in A1. A1 is the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend, right? We're still stuck in the zone of consolidation where we can see price rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. We still have no break of the highs. We have no break of the lows. So right now, we're just in the middle of the zone of consolidation. We already know that this is not the best place to take a trade, right? Middle of the zone of consolidation is where the market makers are inducing the traders the most. The middle of the zone of consolidation is where the market makers are trapping traders, right? Giving you false confirmations, giving you false signals to get into a trade to hit your stop loss. So already understanding where we're at on AUDCAD, we could already understand that AUDCAD is not ready to be traded yet. We start looking at the structure, right? We're pretty much trading between the same 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows as a daily time frame. Everything you guys see here on AUDCAD is internal structure. Once again, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we're looking at continuations for the weeks. Man, yo, and that's another reason why I really despise doing these sessions. It's mainly for the fact, and let me add a few lines here, is because again, if you go into last week's session, did I or did I not add like 20 fucking weekly lines? I promise you, these lines are getting deleted. I promise. There's no way. I add this line every single week, and I add like 10 lines so I don't have to do this every week. And it still feels like I add a line every single week I have to do this. This is so tedious. Just every single pair. It's like they know what they're doing, bro. The market makers are tapped into my PC, bro. I'm telling you. They're deleting all of my lines. They're like, nah. Alright, so let's do this. Take a minute or two here to do this. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. It's like, Kendall, am I bugging? You're on every session. Albert, you too. Like, did I not add these lines last week? Or am I tripping? Like, oh no, you didn't add these lines. Like, alright, cool. If I'm tripping, then I'm tripping. But like, nobody's gonna gaslight me into believing that I did not add these lines last week. Very similar to AU, we have 2 weeks where price is moving sideways, but again, realistically speaking, we've been in a sideways movement area for the last 6-7 weeks where price is rejecting highs, reject lows, reject highs, reject lows, and then on the lower time frame, right, is where we could see that we're in a smaller time frame zone of consolidation as well. Right, and on the 30-minute, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us a lower low change of character. Then price gave us a higher high change of character. And then price gave us another lower low change of character to these lows down here, right? Everything that we see in between these 30-minute lows and 30-minute highs is internal structure, 5-minute, 1-minute structure, where yeah, we can still see price going down, but we have no definite trend. Right now, price is just moving sideways. As we zoom in and we look on the 30-minute time frame, what price has been doing for the last 2 weeks, we've just been moving sideways. Reject lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, back to the highs. Right, so we have no trend. We're in the middle of the zone of consolidation, still waiting for price to give us a confirmation as to where price wants to go. As soon as we get those confirmations, that's when I'll start trading AUDCAD. We already know for this week, for right now at least, the way the market is being printed, so far AUDCAD is not going to be a pair that I will be looking at to take a trade on. Euro AUD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. We had the double bottom, push 1, first zone consolidation, push number 2, second zone consolidation, and then the start of push number 3, where price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high. We're expecting price to reach our previous peak highs at these highs over here, so we still have a long way to go back to the top side. As this higher high was set, price gave us a little higher low, but then decided to give us a zone of consolidation where price is rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. right? We go into the 4-hour time frame now. Turn off our session breaks for the 30-minute. Once again, we know we're in an uptrend. However, we understand that we're in a zone of consolidation where price is rejecting highs and rejecting lows. Price gave us 2 weeks of rise. On top of the fact that price gave us a rejection of an inducement of the highs on the second week, we also had a gap in the market that reset the trend. So we already knew that this third push to the top side that we were expecting to be given last week, we knew it was very low probability, right? So price did not give us that third week high. It ended up giving us a week of drop, no problem. As soon as we start trending with Euro AUD, as soon as we break above these zones consolidations, that's when I'll start trading again, right? We also know that on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low, and it gave us the break of structure, higher high, right? So right now we are still trading in a higher low area. We also know that price is respecting the 800 EMA, but again, on the 5-minute time frame, we are still making lower lows and lower highs. So as soon as we start seeing higher highs and higher lows, and we will see this on the 5-minute and the 1-minute time frame, as soon as we see Euro AUD giving us higher highs and higher lows, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades again. But as of right now, nothing, right? We were looking for Wednesday, we were looking for price to give us the change in the break. We never got the valid break on the 5-minute. Price came down, gave us another lower low, right? And the 5-minute time frame, I'm not going to do that on today's session. We're going to do this tomorrow morning with the live trading session. We're 4 pips from it being a no net. I'm gonna mark it as a no net for now. If we need to update this tomorrow morning, then we will do that and go on from there. You should write today's date down. If you update it next week, then there's a problem with TradingView. It's all good. It's all good. Yep, we'll be looking for higher highs and higher lows on the 5-minute time frame. EURCAD, we're in previous peak high. We're in the previous peak high. You know, right now I still have this marked that we are in level 3 on an uptrend. Right, we had push number 1, first zone consolidation. Push number 2, second zone consolidation. Push number 3. Again, all the rules for this looking like it's push number 3, it's all happening in front of us. Right? We have the fannings of the EMAs in peak high, bouncing off the 50 EMA in level 3. The start of level 2 gave us the bounce off the 200 EMA to continue. We had the 50 and the 200 cross above, right? Level 1 going into level 2, we had the 50 cross above the 200, right? Level 3, we had the 200 cross above the 800. So all the rules are there for me to be able to say, okay, this is most likely in level 3, right? In an uptrend. However, once again, we start looking at structure. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. We're still on an uptrend. 4-hour time frame. We look at the 4-hour structure. We are still making higher highs and higher lows. So it's very simple, right? Could you take trades in peak high territory? Of course. Could you take trades in these areas? 100%. If price continues the trend, it gives you higher high, higher low. What do you think price is going to do after a higher low? If it gives you that change of character, break of structure, you know you could take these trades back to the top side. Perfect. You made a higher high. Price came back down, gave you another higher low. What are we looking for when price is at a higher low? Now we're going to be looking for the internal time frame like we did last week. Now we're going to be looking for that internal time frame to shift from lower lows and lower highs back into making higher highs and higher lows. Right, and again, I'm not going to go over the 5-minute time frame. We're just going to be updating the 30, the 4-hour, and the daily. We had a day of rise on Thursday. Friday, price gave us another day of rise. Again, we're pretty close to this being a no net. We're going to mark it as a rise since we are above it. If we need to update this tomorrow morning, we will do that. I do want to look at the 5-minute though, because we are looking interesting with this. We had lower low, lower high, lower low. Price gave us a little inducement, higher high. Price then gave us a lower low at these bottoms. Right, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we had a change of character, higher high, higher low. We had the break, right, which the break really didn't happen here. Right, all of these were testing candles until here. So we are trading between a very big area, change of character, higher high, higher low. So EURCAD could be a good pair to keep an eye on for this week. Definitely could be a good pair to keep an eye on. So I'm going to add 372 line here, third day high. Alright, and EURCAD, I'm going to mark this down into our daily watch list in the Discord as well. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. Yo, Albert, too. E is in the chat right now in Discord. If you want to hop in there, feel free to hop in there. He is taking questions. So if you want to go in there and ask him that question that you had, feel free to do that. I just seen it now in the Discord. And then our daily watch list for 10/27. And we said EURCAD. Looking for 372 continuation. Going long. Euro USD. Daily time frame, Euro USD. We know that we are in level 2 on an uptrend. We had push number 1, first zone consolidation. Push number 2 that gave us the break, higher high, higher low, into these higher highs. At these higher highs, price decided to just move sideways, and that's okay. We'll be looking for the trend. We go to the 4-hour time frame. Let me add a few lines here as well. Sunday at 17, which is 5 p.m. 17 Sunday. Perfect. We had a week of rise, then last week price gave us a week of drop, so we have no continuations. We know we still have that gap at the top of the market, but that's okay. Price could leave these gaps behind to just give us a point of interest as to where price has to come back up, and that's okay. Euro USD on the 4-hour time frame, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. And on the 30-minute time frame, turn on the session breaks. There's some, I have too many. Alright, let's update this real quick. We had low, lower high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we had the change of character, higher high, higher low, higher high, then boom, lower low. Okay. Right. The aggressive way, what we were talking about last week, I had this marked up the aggressive way, just to have a little bit of a point of interest to where we could take a trade. Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character, higher low, and we were looking for a valid break above these highs, which price did not give us. It gave us that news candle that came out, that gave us that 372 that we were looking for Friday. Then the news candle tapped into our highs, never broke above, never gave us a clean break, tapped into the 800 EMA, and we finished 3 days of rise. So after 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. So before I could take a trade on Euro USD to go back to the top side, I need to see a valid break of these highs. So for now, I'm not going to update my 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows. If price decides to come down and give us, pretty much just melts and breaks below these lows, then we already know that this isn't going to continue that trend to the top side. So we'll be patient with Euro USD moving forward for this week. I'll go there when we're done here, okay? I'll make sure to do it quick because you know E does it. If nobody joins the Discord while he's doing it, he'll be done. He'll pretty much be done first than I will. So that's why I was saying, like, feel free to go over there and ask him some questions. Like, end of the day, this YouTube stream is recorded. It'll be posted. If you miss something important, you could always watch the recording. He's not recording it, so if you miss him in the Discord, you miss him. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing that on Discord, feel free to go to the Discord, ask him the question. If you miss something important here, then you could always watch the recording. But my opinion, I would say My humble opinion, I would say go to the Discord real quick, ask him the question. Because you already know how he is sometimes, yo. We don't know when we'll see him again. Um, for GA, we are in peak highs, so I'm not going to be trading GA. So I'm just going to keep this updated, but I am not trading GA. And very similar to what we saw with EA, or with ECAD, no, with EA. You know, we had 2 weeks of rise, but again, that third week was very low probability due to the fact that we're in peak high territory. On top of the fact that we're in peak high territory, we had a gap on the second week. Gaps in the market reset the trends. So we already understood that this third week push to the top side was very, very low probability. And again, let me just add a few lines here. Alright, we had a weaker drop instead. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us the change of character, the break of structure, higher high. Price came down and gave us a change of character, lower low now. So I'm not going to update this just yet. Once again, price just printed below that on Friday. Didn't really give us a break, so we'll keep it like this for now. But GA is not one that I'm going to be trading either way for now. Once we start making lower lows and lower highs, once price tells me that we're done making those uptrend pushes and we're going to start downtrending, that's when I'll start trading. GCAD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. In level 3 over here, price is still, we could still see kind of sideways movement, but what I like about GCAD right now is that it's still giving us higher high, higher high, higher high, right? So we know that all we're looking for right now for GCAD is just for price to give us a higher low to continue those trends back to the top side. On the 4-hour time frame, bro, this is gonna piss me off. I don't like adding these lines every single time I gotta do this, man. I really don't like doing this. I'm like so close to just making an indicator for this and just calling it a day. We had a weaker rise previously, then this past week price gave us a weaker drop, so we have no continuations. On GCAD, we're still trading between the same 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows, so we don't have to update anything on the 4-hour. And on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us a change of character back to the top side, no valid break, right? But price gave us a change of character, higher high, and all we're looking for is for price to give us a higher low. Right now, price still hasn't given us a set higher low. We could still see internal time frames still giving us lower low, lower high, lower low. Gave us an inducement, higher high, and then came back down and gave us another lower low at the end of Friday. And again, we're very close to being a no net, right? We're 10 pips out, so I'm not going to update this just yet. We'll update this. Oh, I'll put it as a drop for now. I'll update it tomorrow morning if needed. GJ, and we're almost done here, guys. Oh fuck, EU. You wanted me to give like a, well, I mean, who was it that wanted me to go over EU? I'm so sorry, I completely had forgotten. Um, let me know if you need me to go over EU again. But pretty much with EU, in order for me to continue this push to the top side, I need to see price give me a valid break above this wick over here. If price doesn't give me a valid break above this wick, then we know price is just going to continue that downtrend push. Right, so there's really nothing to really talk about on EU. And it'll be the same thing with US30. Like US30, I'm not really actively trading US30 like that. Again, I look at it every single day, but it's still sitting in an area where we have a million pairs in the market, right? Why would I put myself in a position to look at the ugliest pair when I could go look for something else on another pair, right? It's like when you go get a dog. You're not gonna go get a dog that's ugly. You're gonna be looking for a dog that's cute looking, that's good looking, you know? Like you don't want a pet that's ugly. It's the same thing when you're looking at charts, right? Why would I focus on a pair that doesn't even look good? GU is very similar to EU based on where we're at. We know that we're in an overall uptrend. We're in level 2 on an uptrend. We have push 1, first zone of consolidation, the break of the zone of consolidation, higher high, higher low. The continuation into push number 2, where price gave us that higher high, and then price is just moving sideways in these areas. We have no continuations on the 4-hour time frame, nothing to update with the 4-hour highs or the 4-hour lows. So right now we're still sitting in the same area that we've been trading in for the last couple months with GU. When we're looking at the 30-minute time frame, very similar to what we were seeing on the other pairs. We wanted to see price gave us a change of character higher high, and then we wanted to see the break of structure after the change. Right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high change of character, and then price just continued the downtrend push, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, the entire time. Right? So right now for GU, just got to be patient. As soon as we start seeing higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades back to the top side. But for right now, price is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. NZD USD, we are in the second zone of consolidation, A2, on a downtrend. We have push 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, and now we're looking for push number 3 into the previous peak lows down here. Right now, price still hasn't given us a break of the daily consolidation. We still don't have a break at the top of the zone of consolidation. Price is just moving sideways. For NZD USD, going into this last week, right, we had 2 weeks of drop, but we understand that we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. Not only are we at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on the daily time frame, but on the 4-hour time frame, we also had a zone of consolidation where price gave us a break, retest, lower high, lower low, lower high, and we were trading now at the lower low. Right? After a lower low is set, what is price going to do? It's going to give you a lower high. Right? So it's very similar to what we were talking about in the beginning of the stream, right? Why would I take a short position at a lower low? Right? Would you rather take a short position at a lower low, or would you take a short position at a lower high? Right? Because again, when you're looking at the trend, you have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Right? Price doesn't give you lower low, 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 lower low. Right? Price doesn't give you higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher. No, it gives you higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right? Same thing with the downtrend. It gives you lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So yes, even though we had a 3rd week low to the bottom side, we also understood that this was very low probability, not only because we have gaps in the market, but because price is sitting at a lower low, right? And then price finished very close to a no net, 8 pips. We closed above. Again, this might be one that we might have to switch over to a no net when the market open. And we'll do that tomorrow if needed. Right, so let's delete the 3rd week line since we know that price did not give it to us. And then all of last week, what was price doing? Gave us lower low, lower high, lower low at the beginning of the week of last week. Price gave us a change of character higher high. Price failed to give us the break above these highs. These were all just inducement candles, right? And price was just in a zone of consolidation the entire time, right? So price gave us a change, gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, then price gave us an inducement. I'm not going to change this just yet. If price goes and breaks below these lows down here, then I'll switch it over to higher high, higher low, higher high, and then we'll say that if price breaks below these lows, we'll say it's a lower low. But since this was just an inducement candle, it was just that crazy candle that printed for the news, I'm not going to mark that as the high just yet. Because again, if we go and we add the line chart instead of the candlesticks, never broke above, right? So that's just not even part of the structure at this point. So we'll be patient with NZD USD. Previously was a no net. Let's see. It's probably the same situation where I just added the line there, and then the candle open. No, just a no net. Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Good eye, good eye, good eye. So same thing, right? If the candle right now we're above it, but if this 4-hour candle opens and it just decides to go down, then we would have to switch this from a rise to the same thing that we just did for last week, right? Into a no net. So good catch on that. See, that's why, like, I don't even, when you see that price close very close to it, when it closes very close to the opening candle, normally I would just leave it alone and I'll wait for the next candle to open. I'll just wait for the market to open to then update it. Is because of things like that. Daily time for US30 right now, we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We're still making uptrend moves. yeah, daily time frame, we just made another high up here, right? And this high is not set just yet, so I'm just gonna leave this here for now. There's really nothing to talk about on the daily time frame. We're trading at a higher high. On the 4-hour time frame, we could see price giving us another higher high, higher high, higher low. We're just waiting for a valid break above these highs before I update and put that 4-hour box at the top to say that that's a valid higher high. We have 2 weeks of rise. Could price continue this uptrend push? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Understanding that we're sitting at a higher high. We're at the highest point in the market. Do I think price is going to continue this uptrend push? No. Right? I would love for price to give us a pullback. Right? And then price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. Then it gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low, and then it gave us that valid break of structure after the change of character on the push that we had on Friday. So again, could price, technically speaking, could price continue this uptrend push? Absolutely. We know we still have these gaps in the market. Let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings here so it's not too clustered. Take this off, move this to here. We also have 2 days of rise, but we have a gap in the market that resets the trend. And we are trading now this 30-minute break over here. 30-minute BOS, we're trading between this high and this low. Perfect. We'll be patient with US30. And that's pretty much it, guys. USDCAD, ZAR, Gold, and Bitcoin are also pairs that I'm not really trading. Again, I'm going to keep it updated just to have a clean chart. But as of right now, I'm not trading USDCAD. You know, USDCAD is one of those pairs. Are we on an uptrend? Are we on a downtrend? Who knows? Right? Who knows where we're at? We had 4 weeks that price pushed to the top side. Then we went down this week. Right? And then on the 30-minute time frame. Did I go over GJ? Yes, I did. We have higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price came down and gave us a lower low change of character. Again, I'm not going to update that just yet since we don't have a valid break below those lows just yet. And then we had a no net on Thursday, and then Friday price also gave us a no net. Right, we were waiting for a change of character break of structure to continue these pushes from the bottom of the zone of consolidation back to the top, but we never got those confirmations, and that's okay. What is that line in the middle of my screen here? That is the break of the zone of consolidation, which we did get the break with these candles up here. Alright, but we'll be patient with USDCAD again, as I said. Right now, USDCAD is not a pair that I'm going to be trading. USDZAR is another pair that as of right now, I'm not going to be trading. We know that, you know, could we say that we already reached previous peak highs? You know, yes, even though I don't really see a clean 3 push to the top side. We just have 1, 2, and then we had the zone of consolidation. But price right now still is giving us lower lows and lower highs on every single time frame. So we're going to be patient with USDZAR. Turn on the session breaks for this. Last week, price gave us a week of no net. Oh, we already have that. Okay, and then this week, price gave us a week of drops. So no continuations right now with USDZAR. And then on the 30-minute time frame, you can see price lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character, and then price decided to move sideways. Right? This is why we always wait for that valid break of structure before we take a trade. We have 2 days of counter drop, so right now nothing really to talk about on USDZAR. With gold, I need more water. With gold on the daily time frame, we know we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market where price is still giving us higher high, higher low, higher high. On the 4-hour time frame, same exact thing, right? Price was just making higher highs and higher lows the entire time. Price came up, gave us an inducement of the high, it went down, and we finally have a week of drop, guys, after fucking who knows how long. First week of drop, yep, after 9 weeks. There you go. Thank you, Kanda. Alright, finally a pullback. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us an inducement, came down, gave us a lower low, change of character down to the bottom side. So we're going to add that right now. We have the 30-minute change of character here. Right, and we are trading between these lows down here, last red candle before the push to the top side, the lowest candle, which is this wick here, and these 30-minute highs over here. We had a day of rise on Thursday, then Friday price gave us a no net where price was just moving sideways. Bitcoin's market doesn't close on the 4-hour just yet. So I can't update the 30-minute or the 4-hour just yet, unless we are breaking above completely, right? We had 2 weeks of drop, going counter trend, right? And then price ended up giving us a week of rise. Saturday at wait, today's Sunday, I'm bugging. Saturday at what, 8 o'clock? We had a week of rise. $30-minute, we're still trading lower low, lower high, and lower low. Thank you. And on the daily time frame, chart just froze. There you go. Daily time frame, we're still trading at these highs where price is just moving sideways. And then last but not least, guys, oil. Daily time frame, we are in level 2 on a downtrend. We have push 1, first zone of consolidation. The start of push number 2 that gave us the break of structure of the zone of consolidation where price gave us lower low, lower high. And all we're looking for now is for price to give us the continuations down into the lower low. We had 2 months of drop, this month being the 3rd month, gave us that 3rd month push down to the bottom side, which is perfect. On the 4-hour time frame, let's add a few lines here. This one opens at 6 p.m. on Sunday, 876, 1800. Right, we had 3 weeks of drop. After 3 weeks of drop, the market must move sideways or go up, and we ended up going up. So price is doing exactly what it needs to do. Price is bouncing on or around the 200 EMA. Did not give us a valid engulfing candle on no time frames. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had the change of character higher high. Price went all the way to the top side. Price did not give us a valid break of these highs. It was just an inducement. So again, at this point, if price breaks below these lows down here, then I'll be changing this into a change of character lower low. We also had 3 days of rise, 1, 2, 3, which was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday, after 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, and we ended up going down. So again, price is doing exactly what it needs to do. We're at a point of interest with US oil, so this is another one that I'll be looking for price to give us an entry for this week. So as of right now, there's really only 2 pairs on my watch list. It's EURCAD and US oil. US oil, and then the watch list looking for the lower low continuation, waiting for price to give us a 30-minute confirmation for an entry. Right, so that's pretty much it for today, guys. Any questions, let me know. Anything else you guys want me to talk about, anything else you want me to go over, let me know. If not, that's it for today, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Alright, guys. Hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. And once again, we'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.